It is showtime, baby.
And a billfold so swole that I can't get the shit closed. So I money fold and rubber band wrap. And when it pop.
All right. I think we're on. I don't know. It looks like we got two people on here or something. Let's get in the comments. Let me know if you can hear me, see me. Is this thing on? Right on time, 11 o'clock, like every single Friday.
Today, Friday?
Every Friday. Ask Rip Rogers live, baby.
Hell, don't get any better than this, does it?
Buckshot Kid, always in the house early.
Well, BSK's always here, Hank.
Got a new person in there. I can't even say the name. BSK, John Breakdown in the house. Rip Rogers, love your program. He might be new. Dr. Doom in the house. R.I.P. Terry Funk, Bray Wyatt. Frank's pickle barrel ass back. Hadn't seen him for a while, I don't feel like.
He's busy barreling his ass, I think.
Hello, Ripper and Chopper.
Putting his pickle in a barrel.
Brian Colsty in green. Frank's pickle barrel ass in green. Sad time for wrestling fans. Rest in peace, Terry Funk. We hear you, Dr. Doom. Thanks. Loud and clear. All right. Yes, it's big news last couple of days, Rip. Sad news out of the wrestling world. Terry Funk, I know you thought was one of the greats in wrestling, as many do. Passed away, and it was announced, I believe, yesterday. Triple H went to Twitter. First thing I saw on it, and that Bray Wyatt had passed away yesterday.
Wow. Seems like all the guys you grew up with, from Adrian Street to Iron Sheik, seems like the list goes on and on. Now the one and only Terry Funk. The last picture I saw of him was a picture of him in the nursing home, and he had a little skinny and a big old fat knees where he lost his quads. So that means the last hurrah. That's the way mine is right now. So get in line. So one of the saddest days in wrestling. I thought Terry Funk, I thought he was the greatest performer in wrestling. Because I seen him in the territories, and I seen him when he was champion. I'm not taking the stuff when he was Chainsaw Charlie with that ECW shit or anything like that. I'm talking when he was the man. He was Terry Funk. And him and his brother were both world champions. So that just shows you how good they were.
So where did you see or know him first?
Hell, watching him on TV when I was a kid. But he was second generation. His father, Dory Funk Sr., he went to Hammond High School.
In Indiana?
Yeah, so the Funks are transported Indianans into Texans. They're not Texans. They lived in Indiana.
Did Terry ever live in Indiana or just?
Yeah, they were all born in Indiana.
No shit. Terry Funk was born in Indiana.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Dory Funk, Terry Funk. Yeah. And they're transplanted Indianans, unless all the research that I looked at said they wasn't. But it's just hard to focus on right now. And then for Mike Rotunda to have, who's been in the business, and then to have his son die, man, as a parent, you're just thinking, oh my God. And here's Mike living the dream, and his family living the dream, and then his little baby dies. I'm calling him a little baby, no matter what. Mike Rotunda thinks of his son as a little baby. Remember when he was born? So it's just a tough day for any wrestling fan.
So back to Terry Funk. Did you ever work any territories when he was there?
No. The last I had seen him was when he was in me and Regal's caravan. He come into Germany, and so he was over at our caravan drinking, telling stories all night. It was me, Regal, and Max Payne there. If any others were, I can't remember. But he just sat there telling stories all night and just being Terry Funk. As down to earth as you can get, as normal as a guy you could get, and you just sit back, listen in amazement, and then just shake your head and you say, I'm the luckiest man in the world to be listening to this stuff. It was just unbelievable.
So was he there to wrestle?
Yeah, he wrestled.
Okay, so
Yeah, this was 1992.
so you were kind of you were kind of with him there then.
Yeah, that was it. He was
Yeah.
he was just in for a couple days.
I remember he was in Memphis. So
Memphis, he's famous for the famous match with no people there with Lawler, and then he give it the famous "My eye, my eye."
why'd they do that match? Do you know?
No,
I mean, there was some reason though, wasn't there? When there's some, is anybody in the chat know why Lawler and Funk did that? I thought there was some.
just looking off an angle like that, it might be or Funk could be complaining that Lawler only wins because he's got sellout crowd giving him encouragement and stuff like that. So he was like the home team all the time he plays. He didn't meet Terry on his terms. Terry always had to come in. And without all those stupid fans out there cheering for the king, that he'd whoop his ass 1, 2, 3. And I think I heard I think it was a thing. Well, I'll wrestle you with no fan support and we'll see what happens.
So was that the end of the match? Do you know? I saw that clip. Somebody just posted it yesterday. The My Eye clip when he's
My eye.
was that the end of the match? Do you know?
Yeah.
Was it?
Uh-huh.
Huh. So did Lawler win? Did he give up?
I
was
don't
he
know.
cheating? You don't
I
know?
can't remember.
Yeah, I did see that. So I just remember the Funks. Now, who was it? Did he have a real brother or a wrestling brother?
Well, they had Dory. Well, Dory Funk was his real brother, and he was also the world champion.
So who was Dory Funk Jr.? Was that?
That's him.
That's
Dory Funk
is his
yeah,
brother.
yeah. His dad was named Dory,
Okay.
and then Dory Funk Jr. was. I think he lives in Florida, and you'll see him at the conventions. And then that's Terry's older brother, and he was NWA world champion for I can't remember how many years it was, but the Funks are the only. Then they had Jimmy Jack Funk, but that was just Jesse Barr wearing a mask with as a rib, just getting the. If you took his mask off, and if you was a wrestling fan, you'd know it was Jesse Barr. So then he wore a mask like the Lone Ranger, and he became Jimmy Jack Funk.
Now, when they were in Memphis, and they might have done this other places. I think I remember in Memphis though, watching as a kid. Didn't they do like the branding? Didn't they have like a?
Yeah.
Didn't they do that?
Yeah,
Wasn't that the Funks that did the?
He did that with Mankind too, I think, or he might have done it in ECW, but it was a standard funkism.
So how do you do that for real? They didn't really brand people, did they? Or did they?
Don't know. Don't want to know.
Don't want to know. Huh?
Don't want to know. I don't want to know how Harry Houdini does his tricks, because then I don't sit there and watch it like a kid anymore. But Terry was one of the greatest performers ever, one of the nicest guys there is, and you would have. He'd be lucky if he had the belt slung over his shoulder, if he remembered it, if it had puke all over it, beer stains all over it, or whatever. But he was just the epitome of what a pro wrestler was.
Yeah, that was always the thing. Like as a kid, I remember like I hated him. You know, he seemed when he was in Memphis just couldn't stand him. But then later you hear everybody say how nice a guy he is in real life. And
well, like in the pro wrestling business, usually the bad guys are the good guys.
So what happened with you then with that?
With what?
The bad guys being the good guys. Are you saying you're a good guy in real life, Rip?
I'm not even. I don't even wrestle anymore, so I'm not.
No,
I'm
I mean,
not a bad guy.
But I mean, like when you wrestled, you were a bad guy. Does that mean you were a good guy in real life?
Yeah, I didn't have no rest. I didn't do no drugs. I didn't get no speeding tickets. I didn't do anything. I didn't get any fights at Geyser Park or anything like that. Yeah, I was pretty much as normal as you can get. Then I got in the wrestling business and became denormalized.
That's what I'm talking about in the wrestling business. I'm not talking about as a little kid. I'm saying you're a bad guy in the wrestling business.
Yeah, I was a bad guy because I wanted to be a bad guy.
Okay.
Because the bad guy was the star.
Yeah.
What?
I'm saying, so that means during your bad guy run as a pro wrestler for 20 years, you were actually a good guy outside the ring, not when you were a kid, like when you were a
Right.
wrestler.
Yeah. That's right. Now I just
Okay.
think I just think we got the stupid baby face. The heel's the quarterback. He leads the match.
Yeah.
Now wait a minute. Okay, you know, but they don't know. Okay, so now the baby face, oh yeah, well, yeah, they get girls to buy them shit, they get all the hot women, and then the heels, and then they get to sell all their pictures for picture money, right? And then the heels, they get piss thrown on them, shit thrown at them, rocks thrown at them. They get their tire or their car pushed over, or rocks thrown at your cars and everything. Have guns pulled on you, get knifed, etc. And you make less money, but you're in it because you love the wrestling business, and you think, and you got enough confidence to be a star, just being a bad guy. Okay, I stop now.
All right. I mean, that's great. I like that explanation, but it really has nothing to do with what I was talking about.
What you talking
I
about?
was trying to say that you really think you're a good guy outside the ring. We're talking about, you said every bad guy in wrestling is really a good guy outside.
Yeah, that's what
Well,
I
I didn't
said.
know. I've never heard you be a self-proclaimed good guy out of the ring. I feel like you're always in gimmick outside the ring for the most part, especially when I was
Gimmick's
in
a
a
gimmick.
in a kid for, that's what I'm saying.
Well, gimmick's a gimmick.
Well, I mean, all right.
Yeah,
All I'm saying is when I was 18 years old at
Yeah.
Crossroads Gym,
uh-huh.
I wouldn't have think, or when I see you in other, when I'd go to shows with you or whatever, or even in practice in class, I wouldn't consider you always like, oh, there's Rip. He's such a good guy. Always.
Well, that ain't for you to goddamn judge me. I don't fucking
But I'm
judge you.
just saying.
That's like saying,
Everybody's like, oh, Terry Funk's awesome. I bet somebody out there is like, oh, Rip, man, he was nuts. He was an asshole to me. Now there's going to be some people that say you're nice, obviously, especially in your older age, but I'm talking in your prime. I'm not talking now as old soft Rip. I'm talking in your prime heel Rip.
well, most of the time I didn't heel on anybody. I really didn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
I was usually in character, and you really didn't want people talking to you unless you knew them or you went to school with them or whatever. The rest of the people, they was a pimple on your ass. So they wasn't going to help you. They wasn't going to help me diet. They wasn't going to help me in the wrestling business, and that's what I wanted to become. And you got to give it 100%. And if you make it, you make it. If you don't make it, well, you can say, well, I gave 100%. I did the best I could. And then, unfortunately, Father Time don't wait on anybody, and all of a sudden, you wake up one day and you're 69.
Yeah. Let's see what we've got in the chat. Anything? Terry's Firecracker, Florida Cracker promo is one of the best. I guess I don't know that one. SM White, second, $4.99 Rip. That's awful nice. SM White, I tell you,
Shit, I can retire now.
big supporter of the show, always coming through with some
Dr. Doom saying Funk complained all of Memphis was on Lawler's side. That's what we was talking about earlier. Yeah.
oh, that's for that match.
Yeah.
It's a good angle. I would hate to do that match though, really, I think.
Well, it'd be just like, how can you guys have a match when in class with no people there, right?
Well, there are at least 50 people at one point in time around the ring, banging on the ring. At least
they don't
helped
know
a
it.
little bit.
Yeah.
The other people in practice. I don't know that. There you go. Look at that. I got SM White showing there.
Shit, SM's over, baby.
Hell yeah.
The second, not the first. The
and
second.
they SM White's always commenting, man, on every video I post.
Well,
Liking, commenting, doing all that shit for us. It's awesome. Steve Chambers in the house. Back in 81, Lawler wrestled Funk in an empty arena match at the Mid-South Coliseum. Funk says it was his idea. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. We were trying to figure out why they were doing it. WWF Funk was great in the 80s. I remember him a little bit in WWF, not a ton. What's your opinion on Matt Capitelli? Sunny G06 must be a new listener. Welcome to the channel. I had Matt Capitelli. I actually I don't know if you remember this, Rip, but when you were teaching, they sent Capitelli and Johnny Nitro, John Hennigan at the time,
yeah.
to OVW. Remember they came to like the first show? We had like a spot show somewhere, and they showed up, and you were like, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "Well,
Yeah.
we're here from Tough Enough." And you're like, "Okay, why aren't you dressed?" Well, we didn't think we'd be wrestling. You're like, "Well, what the fuck are you doing? Get dressed. You're gonna be in the mat." You
Yeah.
put him in a battle royal, and we just beat the shit out of him.
Good.
You don't remember that?
No.
They had no plans on getting in a ring that night. Or
Oh, why
doing
would
any kind of
why would
wrestling.
somebody? No, you knew from day one that when you went to a show, you brought your shit, because if somebody ain't working, you might get a wrestle.
Yeah, apparently they didn't know that.
Well, I guess they got a quick education,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah, I remember they got in like shorts or something, and just whatever
Uh-huh.
they had, and we just chopped the shit out. I remember you came over, you're like, just beat him to death.
Yeah, beat him to death. That was
But
it.
Capitelli was great, man. Capitelli was a super nice guy.
Yeah,
I thought he was great. I thought he became a really good wrestler. Had a lot of charisma. I thought he was a great baby face. People down in Louisville, man, OVW, he was definitely over big time down there. Fans loved him down there. So
Matt was the way you were supposed to be.
yeah,
As a guy, he was so nice. As a friend, he'd have your back. I think he'd give you the shirt off his back, and he's one of those guys, just the opposite of me. I never heard one bad word about Matt Capitelli, and was proud to have known him.
yeah, he was a cool dude. He was a nice guy, good looking guy too. Rip. If I was on that other team, I'd probably be checking him out a little
I
bit
mean,
more.
he's a younger, more attractive man, right?
He was
So-
the younger, more attractive man that you always talked about. That was
Okay.
him. He finally came through the door. It was Matt Capitelli.
And then Johnny Nitro was Johnny 37
He's been
last
Johnny
names in a
everything.
row. So he's Johnny everything.
I remember after that, then we went to one of our first, once they started wrestling a little bit more, Johnny Nitro. I remember we went to like a VFW. We were outside at some VFW somewhere. He was like the first match, and he did like his however many flip thing off the top rope onto the into the grass, into the basically the seats in the crowd on somebody. First match of the night.
I bet
Everybody's
was
like,
I
"Oh."
there?
Oh yeah, you're what in the fuck?
Well, I guess he hadn't had pro wrestling structuring a show 101 yet.
Yeah, that was awesome. Ben McClain in the house. Terry didn't even need a belt. He was that good. Yeah.
That's for damn sure.
I never know who's. Oh, there you go. Now we can see that thing. Look at that. Bright. Did Rip ever wrestle Terry Funk?
No.
Heavy D in the house, at work listening. In green. Heavy D's in green. That's awesome. If Rip didn't have heat with the boys, he was a good guy. Yeah.
Well, if
Very
I'd have
good
known
guy.
that, I'd have been a bad guy, so I'd get some heat just to fuck with him.
Corny always talks great about Rip, Kevin H. said. Any memories working for Joe Bailey's BBW? Never heard of it. What's that, Rip?
No, that was Joe Bailey's. He had a promotion down, basically Louisville, Jeffersonville, whatever.
Oh, yeah?
And I remember I worked a couple shows for him. Joe was a nice guy. And then he had a son that got in the wrestling business, and I think he sort of self-destructed or whatever. But that's what the wrestling business does to you a lot of times. It's you have so much fun, and you get out of control. You hang out with some crazy guys, and it's the time of your life. But sometimes it affects your life. But such what happens when you're 20s and you got testosterone in you.
That was from Just a Lift. Now, Just a Lift is he's been all over our YouTube channel as well, Rip. A lot of comments, a lot of likes, everything like that.
Okay.
Really appreciate it. John Tucker shows up here in green. Hey, where can I find an address to send you guys something? Well, John, it depends what you're going to send us. If you're going to send us like I better not say it here live on YouTube, but if you're going to send us something that's going to, hurt us, I'm not going to give you an address. But if you got something cool to send us, I'll tell you what, John, send us an email at thelilastudios@gmail.com. I'm going to put it on this ticker right now. Look how cool this is.
The ticker?
The ticker, baby.
Oh.
Look at this. Email us, John, right there.
Email us questions.
thelilastudios@gmail.com. And kind of give me at least a heads up of what you're sending. Not that I don't really trust you. You're in green, baby. But and then I'll shoot you an address through the email. And you can send away, man. Johnny Morrison is a hot piece of ass. Frank Pickle Barrel has said.
Well, you know, Frank. You know,
Frank's all about that.
I go say
whichever
Frank.
way, I guess. You know.
Yeah, Frank likes it all, baby. Nice buns are nice buns. Nice legs
Yeah,
are nice
just-
legs.
just
Nice
honest,
calves are
man.
nice calves.
Hey, I said Matt Capitelli was hot, so you know.
Yeah. So we got different. Yeah, I guess. Okay.
Love Johnny Jeter and then Capitelli and OVW. Yep, they were great. Moonsault on the floor, hits opponent. Funky and awesome, we'll say. Italian in the house. Oh yeah, Just Live maybe. You have Union shirt on right now? I think he was the one talking about it the other day.
What it is?
Is that where you taught, Rip?
No,
Is
I taught in Union City, Indiana.
Okay, so what's that one?
I don't know. Just a free shirt I got.
But you don't.
somewhere.
It's not Union, Indiana. You don't think?
I didn't know there's a Union, Indiana.
Well, I think Union City.
There was a Union County, but Union City, Indiana.
Well, I mean, that's
Okay.
Union, isn't it?
Well, hell, there's a Seymour, Texas.
Well-
a Seymour, Indiana.
Well, then you know that it. All right, Just Live. What Union? What state are you talking about? Said my wife's family is from Beeville. Whatever. What I don't know what Beeville is.
Barberville, Kentucky.
Okay, so maybe
Yeah,
Union,
so-
Kentucky. Is there a Union, Kentucky?
I think so. Yeah, Barberville. That was Fuller made that a big time town when he used to have the old Southeastern out of Knoxville, and
yeah.
then Cornette when he ran Smoky Mountain Wrestling. A lot of the TVs he had were the ones Fuller's used to have.
Got it. Carl Brown in the house. What's up, Carl Brown?
He said, "Hi guys, hi guys."
Hey, Carl.
Okay.
Okay. Doug Tate, Seymour legend in the house. Doug, get off Facebook and watch on YouTube, you mark. Come on.
You got George Jetson on there. I bet
Yep.
that ain't the right George Jetson.
He's been on the last couple of weeks.
Okay,
George
now
Jet's a
now
big
re-
fan.
read that question out loud.
Honky Tonk Man said Cuban Assassin Angel Aceveda could stand on one side of the car and could pee over the roof the other side. Ever see that happen?
Oh hell yeah!
I've heard other people say that about other
Okay,
people. but
that
go
was
ahead.
that was the amazing Cuban assassin, the original Cuban assassin, Angel Ancevita. So I met him in Oak Hill, West Virginia. I wrestled with him in Puerto Rico. I wrestled with him in Calgary, and I wrestled with him in Kansas City. And he was really Puerto Rican, but he did the Cuban gimmick, and he could just drink beer, drink beer, drink beer, drink beer. And all of a sudden, he'd tell the van, like when we was riding into a Calgary, he'd go, "Ah, bah, bah, bah. Okay, I'm ready now." And then he would hold his piss till it was ready to like explode. And then he usually if there wasn't a highway there, he could do the car, but he could aim his piss and put his thumb on his worm some way, and it will like spray out. Then it go down the fine tooth jet stream or the fucking like this and that. But he could actually go over the car, and on a small highway, a 2-lane, he could go from one end to the other.
Wow.
Other end. What a pisser he was! But he'd have to wait until he says, "Ah, bah, 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 bah. Okay, I'm ready now."
What a pisser he
But that was the original Cuban assassin. He's the father of Angel of Richie Ancevita.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Cuban Jr.
I got some let's see, new members. You know what? I didn't check this week for new members, Rip. We'll put them over here one more time from last week. I got to get anybody new from last week on this week, but all you got to do is where you go subscribe, go click on that new member or membership button.
Smash.
Become a new member. So here's some new members from last week. I did put out another new video. It was Rip. It was you and Jacques Rougeau. And you guys were you're doing some kind of boxing match gimmick. And he punched Brenda Britton. Do you remember that?
No,
You don't remember that
no,
at all?
I just remember I think I put I hit him. I put the glove into
Yeah.
the water bucket and hit him, boom, and knocked him senseless.
But right before that, he punched Brenda.
Oh, he probably did. He's a
well,
bully.
I know he did.
He was a bully.
I watched it and put it
No,
on.
I didn't see it. He was a bully.
I put it on the membership channel or
Yeah.
the membership part of this.
I
this
called
deal.
I called Jock. I call him as Arn Anderson. He said, "Call him the human milk dud. He'll get upset." So I call him the human milk dud. Arn was there stirring that shit, you know.
So on the ticker now, Rip, I got t-shirts, man. Look at this. We got t-shirts. ProWrestlingTees.com. Go get your Wrestling with Rip Rogers shirt or any of the original Rip shirts. He's got the originals on there as well.
Is that
so.
is that a original Boston Red Sox hat? Is that the usual hat you have on, or you usually just have it on backwards?
I usually have this one on.
Oh, but it's usually on backwards, right? Backwards, that's hillbilly for back and words.
I think
Hey, Al
so.
Robinson here. You know what he's going to say?
Gentlemen,
He says, gentlemen.
big Al in the house. Ben McLean said, Rip, ever see Jake the Snake drink his piss?
No, never seen that.
Have you heard that story?
No, but anything the wrestlers say, I don't believe none of that shit they say.
Union Bulldogs College in Barberville, Kentucky is what Just Lift said your shirt is.
Okay.
Rip, you ever work with who's that?
Moolah?
Is it Moolah? Like the
Well, I didn't work with Moolah. You talking about the fabulous Moolah, Lillian Ellison. Well, Brenda worked with Moolah, and they drew more than anybody to see Moolah kick Brenda's ass.
Porter Blaze in the house. Must be a new listener. Welcome, Porter.
He says Terry Funk forever. It don't get any better than that.
John Tucker must be confused. Either you two ever go to any good concerts in your life?
Well, what's good?
Well, I mean, anything you think's good, I guess.
Well, I remember going to the Beach Boys.
You went to the Beach Boys, huh?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
What year would that have been? You have any idea?
70-something.
Wow. So I saw the Beach Boys without Brian Wilson.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe it was, who was the other singer? Didn't they have two?
I can see their faces, but I can't remember.
Yeah, they played over here at Connor Prairie a couple summers ago.
Oh, did they?
But it was like one of the Beach Boys,
And then
they
the
had a
rest
bunch of
were-
other guys playing really.
It'd
and
be the Monkees without Mike Nesmith, Mickey Dolenz, Davy Jones, and Peter Tork. Man, they got four. Hey, it's the Monkees. Well, it's not really the Monkees, but we're playing monkey songs. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
John Tucker, I'm a big Kiss fan, so I've seen a bunch of Kiss concerts. You know, I really kind of want to go see Smashing Pumpkins. Rip, the lead singer is Billy Corgan. They're gonna be-
Billy Corgan needs to get us on his NWA show.
yeah. They're gonna be in Nashville.
Especially since a lot of the people on their roster, they was with us in OVW, and we helped train them and everything else. He ought to reach out and say, hey,
They're going to be in Nashville Monday and Tuesday.
shit, that's going to be the greatest shows in Nashville in many, many months.
I'm just saying we could slide down there.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Oh yeah,
Excuse me for working.
I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
Frank's Pickle, Notre Dame football Saturday, baby. Gives a rat's ass. Sorry, Frank. Dr. Doom, what does Rip think about Dirty Dick Slater? Any Dirty Dick Slater thoughts or stories, Rip?
Dirty Dick Slater went to high school with Mike Graham. And,
really?
and Dirty Dick Slater was a badass. And Dirty Dick Slater was the guy. His girlfriend was the black girl manager down in Louisiana, and she made a trip with Sting when her and Slater broke. She needed to ride to the town. So this is when Sting was just innocent in the dressing room. Dirty Dick Slater come over and grabbed him and flushed the toilet on his fucking face and head and everything else. And I don't think Sting knew what the hell it was all about, but
Because he went with his.
yeah. She said, call, hey, Stinger, I need a ride to town. Oh, okay. He didn't know. He didn't know the rules and whatever.
Do you think he ever figured it out? Like why?
Well, probably Dick was wasn't whispering sweet nothings in his ear as he was doing it to him, but I wouldn't have stopped Slater. Last time I saw him, he worked a show. I think it was in Seymour, whatever, when we had the big, all the shows we had from WCW years ago. I remember gave him a draw one night. We was just bullshitting about different guys and stuff. But Dick Slater was a hell of a man, put it that way.
Just Lift said, ever work with Billy Joe Travis?
Oh, yeah. I worked a lot with Billy Joe Travis in Memphis. And Billy Joe is famous for the thing I talk about, the Frank Morrell saying, damn, Billy.
Oh, no. I didn't.
Yeah. Frank Morrell.
I never knew that story.
Frank Morrell, Angel. He was driving in the front seat of the car. In the back seat was Billy Joe Travis, just giving himself a wank, 100 miles an hour. And Angel would just be looking, shaking his head at the thing, and there's Billy. Finally he hit the big nut, hit Frank right in the head. Boop.
No way.
Yeah, this is. And then all of a sudden, Frank's big thing was wipe it off and go, "Damn, Billy." So if you ever hear me saying that to Dylan Bostic or whatever, all of a sudden, that's how you got "Damn, Billy." But
Wow.
Billy Joe Travis, he was he worked for Memphis for years. I worked a little program with him there, but he was a good guy.
I saw you wrestling him at the Louisville Gardens.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old was you then? You remember?
No, I mean,
That's probably 1986.
probably 84, 86.
Yeah,
80.
86. Yeah.
Said he was before my time, but the people at the gym I train say he was amazing athlete. Was a high jump record at a local high school.
Wow. Never can't tell a book by its cover, can you?
No, that I think it was the same night that you wrestled him when I was in the front row when Joe LeDuc wasn't there. I think it was
Okay.
the same night.
Okay, yeah, Dark Journey. I couldn't think of her name. That was the girl. Carl Brown come through, said
job, Carl.
Dark Journey was Slater's old lady. Yeah.
Wow. Frank's Pickleberry asked, my one daughter is 18 and she loves the Beach Boys.
Well, who didn't love the Beach Boys?
Well, she's 18.
Yeah, well, you
probably
know,
never.
she's listened to her dad's old records. They still have records, or how do they play?
I mean,
stuff?
yeah, records are back now. They're
Oh, are
hot.
they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Records are over now. People
Okay.
love them. Any Blackjack Mulligan stories?
Well, here's one you like. Well, first, when I grew up watching wrestlers, Blackjack Lanza and Mulligan were the badasses of Dick the Bruiser Wrestling, and Bobby Heenan was their manager. And Lanza was a smaller guy, and then Mulligan was the guy that would kill you. And when I was working down in Tampa, and this is 1985, Blackjack, he lived around there or whatever. So he was working a spot show. So he's wrestling me, and then he's just working like a normal guy. I said, "What the fuck? You're Blackjack goddamn Mulligan. Beat the shit out of me and beat me." He says, "No, you're full time. I'm just picking up a shot here and there." I said, "No, well, excuse me. No, you're beating me. Fuck you. You're Blackjack Mulligan." He just shook his head and laughed.
Did he
So-
beat you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So were you telling him this out in the ring, or was he saying this like before?
No, this is before.
Okay.
This is before, and he's that's Barry Windham's dad, you know. So
Now Wyndham and Rotundo are related, aren't they?
yeah, they're brothers-in-laws.
Brother-in-law. Okay.
Mike Rotundo's married to Barry Windham's sister.
Okay. It was something.
Yeah,
Something like that.
You get confused with the wrestling thing and what the hell, right?
Let's see. FM in Japan. Rip ever wrestle Wayne Gillis, Atlantic Grand.
Buddy Wayne, midget. That's Nick Wayne's daddy.
Oh.
We was like best friends in fucking in the Maritimes. Midget lived. Well, I lived with Midget. We had two apartments for Emile Dupre, and then he'd be in the ring working with somebody, and I'd lead him through a comeback. He'd do the midget thing because Midget's about 5'6". He's got the wife now who's the model and 6'2". And Nick Wayne started in the wrestling business when he was 6 years old, started learning how to referee. Then he started learning how to work. So now he's at AEW doing big things, and Mama gets camera time too. So
Every time.
congratulations to Tony Khan on landing that great talent.
So have you seen clips? Did anybody send you clips of Christian's promo on Nick Wayne and Buddy Wayne the other night?
No, I didn't see it. I don't watch wrestling.
Well, I thought maybe somebody sent it to you.
No, yeah, you're
It
right.
was-
They got to send it to me.
It was pretty
Was Christian being a heel?
oh yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean,
Good, because he before he was always a great wrestler, but the having that personality and make him love you or make you hate you, that's the hard thing in wrestling.
here
And-
lately in AEW, he's been just
On fire.
well, it depends. I mean, I guess, yeah, it's on fire, but man, some of the shit he says is ruthless. Like
Well,
it-
good. because
it's ruthless.
yeah, well, I mean, if you don't get counterculture or whatever,
Canceled.
yeah,
Your culture
or
canceled?
whatever, because
Cancel
you
culture.
hey, all the stuff we used to do in wrestling, which was normal pro wrestling, you couldn't do it you can't do anything. So all of a sudden he's doing something, and then it looks like it's 100 times worse because people's not used to hearing stuff like that anymore. But it used to be the heels; they just say whatever you want to say, and then the station will bleep if they don't like it, whatever.
George Jones in the house. I don't know. I think maybe new. Talking about one of your and Adrian Street's matches. I'm not going to read it out loud because it was something you were
Oh, that was normal.
yelling and probably not.
Oh, and
Speaking of cancel culture, I don't know
yeah, then we used to. I
what
mean,
you can say or not say anymore. So.
yeah, Pillman used to do that when we'd be on TBS or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
and then he would do around and he'd start that yell.
I think I remember Owen Hart was doing it.
Yeah,
during
yeah.
the
Owen
one
did it
match.
too. Right. I said, Owen, I said, get him going. He goes, what? I said, get with it, you geek. You know.
Graves Young. When's the last time you saw Terry Funk? Do you remember?
Live.
Talked about meeting him.
I can't remember exactly if he was around, come in and out or whatever, this or that. But whenever he came in, he was like a rock star to all the boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was just so over because he was so great, so good, and he was so humble. And he didn't cuss like a sailor like me. He was always respectful to everybody. He's probably just the way you're supposed to be, and I was just the opposite of that. So what the hell?
What did you like about Bray Wyatt? Did you watch any Bray Wyatt stuff, Rip?
Never watched it in my life. No, but I haven't, really watched. He was always with WWE, correct?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I didn't watch WWE wrestling unless somebody sent me something. And he did that weird stuff gimmick that wasn't wrestling, and I guess it got him over and whatever. But
He wrestled more in the. Well, first he started out as Husky Harris. Which
okay.
NXT I didn't like at all. Then he became Bray Wyatt, which I thought was awesome. I thought
Mhm.
everything about Bray Wyatt was awesome.
Okay.
Kind of ran its course. I guess I don't know. I feel like they may have shut it down too early, broke him up too early, in my personal opinion, but he wrestled more then. But then he became like that Fiend, and a lot of that stuff got, way out there, which I wasn't a huge fan of that kind of stuff. But I mean, I did there was one night when they came through Indianapolis when APOC Victor from the Ascension was still with WWE. So I went over and hung out with him at the hotel after the show, and throwing darts, hanging out. Bray Wyatt was there. Then we went back to the room and continued on with the evening. But Bray Wyatt was he was cool as shit. Like he was.
Well, you got to remember he was third generation wrestler.
Yeah, but he could have acted like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he didn't know me at all. He didn't have to hang out.
Right. He could have been.
But
he could have been a real fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't so good.
No, he was cool as shit. We just had a good time, man. They put me in an Uber about 3:30 in the morning. It was a little questionable, but anyway. Let's see. Thoughts on Edge. So the big rumor, Rip, supposedly Edge put out a video on Twitter. He's given the WWE kind of an offer to re-sign him. I guess his contract's up. They've kind of said they're not interested in that offer. I guess he's offering them a deal. So he says he's kind of thinking about it, doesn't know what he's going to do. The big rumor is that he's going to show up at AEW. I don't know what kind of non-compete clause he has, or if that happens when your contract runs out all the time. But a lot of people are saying that he's AEW bound.
Well, he probably will be. They've seen his act in WWE for how many years?
Yeah, so he was out for 9 years.
I know, but still, then once he come back, they're doing the same old shit.
Yeah.
So he's luckier than shit to have what a great run he's had. Just unbelievable to basically work for one company his whole career.
Yeah.
And the first time I met him and Christian both was in 1997 in the Maritimes. They were just greenhorn rookies, but now he looks formidable. He still got the purty long hair.
Well, he cut it all off.
He doesn't. He got no hair now.
Well, it's I mean, it's just normal.
Oh, just normal.
Yeah,
Oh,
short.
he's still Edge though. So what the hell,
Yeah.
right? But him and Christian were both there.
Yeah,
And Bad News Brown was there. Bad News, so he was always good for telling stories.
I'll try to make this as short as possible. So they got the big Wembley show, in AEW coming up, 80,000 people or whatever it is. So they had this big angle with Nick Wayne, where a couple of the guys went to Nick Wayne's house, where Buddy Wayne trained people, and basically beat him up and left him bloody in that ring or whatever. Like literally like a week or two later, those two guys that went beat him up, one turned on the other already in a Nick Wayne match just this last Wednesday. So it's already a turn after they went to kill him like a week ago. And then Christian came out. Now Christian is now replacing the guy that the other guy just fired. People are saying, the rumor has it, is that the reason Tony Khan's doing that is to lure Edge. He's like, all right, I'm just going to give Christian this big spot. Now that'll help get Edge to Wembley to be on Christian's team.
Sounds like a good strategy by Tony.
Yeah, it's good strategy maybe, but for the current storyline, it was absolutely horrible.
Well, hey, you can get storylines, and then all of a sudden you wipe your ass with it and throw it away.
I know, but it was going into 80,000. I mean, it was going into their biggest show.
Okay, now wait a minute. Now, on their biggest show in England, now according to what I read on my phone, is they're going in there with just stars. That they haven't announced.
They're starting to announce. Yes, you're correct. They sold all those tickets without
announcing. So nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
They're there to have a good time. It's like if you knew WrestleMania was going to be there. It's like when WWE goes. Let's just say WrestleMania was going to be in Tampa, which it's not. I guess not. But anyway, or it'd be in Indianapolis. They wouldn't run Indianapolis the whole year, and they'd have that date out the whole year. So maybe. WrestleMania, maybe 30,000 people from Europe coming over to make it a WrestleMania week or whatever. And then you don't know what any of the matches are, and you don't care. You're there to get drunk, have a good time, and be a wrestling fan. Meet your stars, see your stars, have a great time, and just have memories, baby.
Or the one year when WWE actually planned the main event of WrestleMania a whole year in advance, Cena and Rock.
Well,
they literally promoted that for a year.
Well, you can't over promo it, put it that way.
Well. John Tucker's in green. So we got a lot of comments in here. We'll try to get them all, but if not, we're definitely going to get the people in green. John Tucker's in green. He's a member of the show. Ever take an Alabama Slam, Rip?
I don't know what an Alabama Slam. Are you talking about an Alabama Jam from Bobby Eaton, or are you talking about an Alabama Slam, which I have no idea what it is?
I don't know. Is that did Hardcore Holly do that? Somebody did that.
I don't know.
Did you ever wrestle Hardcore Holly?
No. I wrestled Bobby Eaton a lot. They said you ever wrestled Bobby?
Yeah,
Eaton?
I know. I just
we've
answered that a bunch, but do you have any other stories of Bobby Eaton besides him potatoing you?
I wasn't going to talk about him potatoing me.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Do you have any other ones?
Yeah, we'd just get in the ring and Bobby never say a word. I said, he goes, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Just follow me," and that would be it. I said, when time's right, we'll go home." He said, and that's the way Bob was. Okay. And that'd be all we'd say. Then he'd always, and then when the match was over, he says, "Everything okay?" Then I'd rib him again about. I said, "Well, about still passed out from all the injuries from you punching me in the ear when you're 17 and fucking me up." He goes, and then he said, "Oh, I'm sorry." He always tell me that. That's a hell of a rib.
Was asked about Vince McMahon's birthday. Was it his birthday? Didn't know that, but I did miss the legend himself, the one and only. I missed a birthday the other day. I was down.
Pops?
I missed Pops' birthday. So
you told me.
Happy belated birthday. That Grant Graves has been on me since I missed your birthday. Here it is. Instead of 3 spankings for your birthday or whatever you get, go ahead and give you 3 chops.
Is this at Muncie?
It was in Seymour. That's why
Was
he's
it
Grant
Seymour?
Gra- You always
I
ask,
thought that was Grant
you
Graves.
ask that same question every time. Was this
I
in
thought that
Muncie?
was
No,
Grant
it's-
Graves from the back of his head. It
It
looks like
was.
Grant Graves. Okay.
It
Have we,
was-
have we seen that before? Is that what
Yes.
okay.
The Seymour Armory. Grant
Oh.
Graves did not drive up
Oh,
to Muncie to watch me wrestle
I was wondering.
Ben Hameen. Happy birthday. Ya Allah, Ben Hameen. Since I forgot. It's sad. Fantastics, Rip. Did you ever wrestle the Fantastics? I've never heard you talk about them. I mean, Bobby Fulton, I've heard you talk about individually a couple times, but
I think I did, but I can't remember where it was. They were like a Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, sort of like rip off or whatever, but you take it to where it's the only show in town, and then it's like first the Rock and Roll Express would go in for like work like Watts, get a good run, and then they seen their act, and then the Fantastics come in, do the exact same thing, but it's a little bit different because you got two different guys working a little bit different style. But they was a good team. They was easy on the head.
yeah, there was a bunch of Cornette did a segment where he covered all those. It was like
Mhm.
because that's when like the Midnight Rockers,
Right.
and there was the Rock and Roll RPMs, and then he was getting into some real other guys I've never even heard of. It
Uh-huh.
was all trying to do basically that same
Yeah.
rock and roll gimmick.
Yeah, if it was before cable TV, you could be the most known team on the West Coast. It'd be like you could be in Vancouver and Portland, work Hawaii, and work San Francisco, Los Angeles, and then you could do that act your whole career. Or then you could come to Tennessee and wrestle in Nashville territory, Memphis territory, or Knoxville territory, and nobody would see you except if you was in that area. You could do the same old shit for years, working the same old opponents because you're going to different places with it before cable. Once stuff come on cable, then it was harder. You had to change stuff up.
Have you ever been invited to the Hall of Fame, Rip? WWE Hall of Fame? To sit with other wrestlers, he said.
To sit with other, I never heard of that one before. Sit with other wrestlers. No.
Where can we buy the black shirt of yourself? Well, ProWrestlingTees.com. I don't know if it's this one or Rip's got other ones. He's got like 3 or 4 in the store. But if you go to ProWrestlingTees.com to the Rip Rogers store there, just type in Rip Rogers in the search bar. He's got several options there. Shout out to Vito and Andretti, Rip. He bought the whole collection last week or a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he bought a whole bunch of shirts.
He's losing a bunch of weight too. You've seen those pictures he's been posting. He's getting
Pretty soon he'll be a lightweight.
he's getting jacked.
Yeah, he is.
He looks like almost like one of those guys, the Pawns of Destruction, PODs.
Well, he moves like him a little bit too, but this guy's more muscular.
Hardcore Holly did the Alabama Slam. Oh, I think that's that thing where he does something.
The jackknife thing?
Yeah, like flips him back. Or whatever.
Okay.
Frank's in green, baby. Hey, there's Vito. We just put Vito over.
Oh,
Same thing.
if we put him over, then I ain't gonna put him over then.
Yeah.
I ain't
want
gonna-
Von Lilas, F you and your chops.
Oh, okay.
215, baby.
All right.
Bring it on, Vito.
Medium fives on, talking about his gimmick.
Oh, he's finally here. He's
Yeah.
finally out of bed. Still wants Tennessee. Come to Kingsport, baby. Go to the Knoxville Nudie Bar.
Oh, okay.
We'll be there. We're going to be there Monday and Tuesday for NWA in Nashville. Meet us there. Not really. Frank's Pickle Barrel ass. Any time with Ron Bass, Rip?
I think he was there when the second time I went to Portland. He was in there and was just leaving, but he was a big old guy. Ron Bass was.
Now, was he one of the assassins for a while in Memphis?
I don't think so. It was usually Jody Hamilton.
I thought it was him and Ron Bass. No.
Well, the original assassins was Tom Renesto and Jody Hamilton. Okay. They were the original assassins. Then after that, they would replace this, and sometimes it was Dirty Rhodes, who was Roger Smith. But a lot of guys, they had the revolving. Almost every territory had the masked assassins. When in doubt, have a masked assassins.
Vito got Pookie. Do you remember Pookie?
I
He was
remember the
in
name,
mixed
but
class.
I remember the
Got him
name.
laid in Kingsport, Tennessee on his 21st birthday.
Well, that was nice of him.
That's awesome. Have you got an email, Rip? Still get emails every once in a while. Jeff Nettleton, whole bunch of shit. I'm going to try to get to a little bit at a time here. Did you ever do anything differently when working a match with George Weingroff due to his visual limitations?
Well, with me, he didn't have any visual limitations. I treated him like he was normal, but you just don't do two-part high spots. Like he can hit you with a tackle, slam you or whatever, but don't have him hitting the rope because it's going to mess your timing up a little bit. But once you know that, and George ain't never going to, he ain't never going to change. So George could play basketball out there. He didn't have a driver's license, but he'd be driving. Yeah, he just acted like he was normal. I didn't angle with him at ICW when he had the eyepiece and I broke his eyepiece and everything. So that got the serious heat. But no, I treated him. He wrestled at Tennessee Chattanooga with Pez. George was like the 185 pounder, and Pez was the heavyweight when he went to college. And then George was the wrestling coach at the Indiana School for the Blind. After that, and then he was Saul Weingroff's son, so he was around the wrestling business his whole life. So George is a guy, never raised his voice, never really got upset, and still looking great.
Watching some of these Southeastern videos, I wonder, did the flea bag stuff or other abuse ever get to Miss Brenda? I know it's heat, but some just wonder if she ever really
embrace
if
it.
Things ever went too far with her.
No, you embrace it is what you do, and she be the one to grab the microphone and say, and remember, whatever you do not call me a flea bag. I am not a flea bag, and I will beat anybody's butt who calls me that because I am not a flea bag. So do not call me flea bag. So Gordon Sullivan goes, well, I guess I know what's going to be said.
Well, she got knocked out by Jacques Rougeau.
That's right.
I think being called a flea bag's all right.
Yeah.
Now, when I was watching those newscasts in Mobile,
right,
that guy, which he didn't know anybody's names, he did call her flea bag all the time.
He called her Brenda Tenderfoot.
Yeah, what was that all about?
Well, he was a guy that loved pro wrestling.
Yeah,
Fuller hated him, but he was because he put on every Tuesday night when we'd wrestle in Mobile, he would have the stuff shot, edited, whatever, and he would get the free plugs for wrestling every week.
Yeah.
And he was awesome with us. And he knew Fuller would get all upset. So let's do something to wind Ron up. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. But no matter what, Ron Fuller was getting that free publicity out of that Pensacola Mobile TV. And he would come out, shoot it. And then he'd put nicknames for everybody. And if something was sort of stupid, he'd just rib Fuller just to get Ron all wound up and everything. But that was at the time, that was a great market.
That's awesome. Last thing here. Can you relate any stories of working with John Ruffin or his time in ICW? I know he wasn't there long.
Well, okay. That's
killed soon after.
Yeah. John Ruffin was killed in a bar in Cincinnati. He was like Les Ruffin's, another wrestling legend who was in a wheelchair. He used to come to the Wrestling for Dick the Bruiser. And I can't remember who the guys from Cincinnati be pushing him around. But John Ruffin was Cowboy Johnny Fargo the year before I came into the Maritimes. So he worked for Emile Dupre since Emile Dupre, who was Rene Dupre's daddy, he started out in the Tony Santos Boston territory years and years ago. And I think John Ruffin was adopted, but I worked with him in ICW. And he was from Cincinnati, and he died in a bar fight, got shot, whatever it was. Should have stayed out of the bars.
Yeah, didn't really remember him. Trying to find something else. Opinion Haver is in the house. Ask Bo James about you running nude with the 5-inch. I don't know about you sometimes, Vito. Get off your damn Facebook, Vito, and start watching this shit on YouTube. I can tell you that, though. Concrete, baby. Literal concrete today. They're supposed to repair the sidewalk in front of my house. Pinion Haver. Concrete Time, Rip. 11 a.m. every Friday. I mean, that's when we're on
And we was here, and he was nowhere to be found.
every single Friday at 11.
Now he's in California, correct?
Yeah.
That means he knows everybody there.
He knows everybody.
So I guess it's 11 o'clock. It's 11 a.m. there. So, Yes.
Medium 5 says Bo James is a friend of mine. Man. Got a shoot job, he said. Anything Sputnik Monroe, Rip?
Oh, Sputnik was a character. He was a guy that when down south, a lot of the audience was Afro-American, and he was put it this way, he was nice to every black person in the world before anybody else was. And they loved him. And he's a baby face. Sputnik Monroe, the original Diamond and Cadillac man. Sputnik Monroe.
All right, I'm going to get to this story, and I can't find what I'm really looking for, Rip, but I'm ready to get you fired up a little bit. You ready to get fired up just a little bit?
No, but okay.
Well, something I really wanted to address, because we've had a lot of comments on, and I do all my prep work and research. And I'm always 100% ready to go for all this shit, but now I can't find it because I really wanted to call some of these people out. But anyway, I've been taken, you've been taken, I've been taken, we've both been taken. A lot of heat over a video that we posted where you were talking about the incident where Bill Dundee hit Randy Savage.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's because you said he broke his jaw, and then all these people are saying Dundee said he broke his orbital bone, which I don't really give two shits about that.
You're looking at an inch, an inch and a half between your orbital bone and your jaw. Your jawbone goes all the way up to here.
Yeah.
Jawbone goes all the way up to here. Now your orbital bone's there. So Mark's going to complain about everything because they're stupid fucking Marks. This shut up and listen to the goddamn fucking story about a fucking orbital bone. Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay, so that's not even the part I'm really fired up about. So the other part is I've had at least 3 or 4 people, and I should try to find it, but I can't find it.
At least 3 or 4 people
say on here that you were not there. They were actually there. One of them was like the gym owner's sons, friends, brothers, cousins. He was there, and Rip Rogers, by God, was not there at all that day when it happened.
Okay, now for whoever that is, A, fuck you, B, fuck you, C, fuck you. How's that?
Okay.
First of all, I'm gonna say this real slowly to make sure everybody understands that. On Saturday night, I just won the Mr. Southern Kentucky in Bowling Green, Kentucky. The next day, we're wrestling in Memphis at the Cook Convention Center. After the show at the Cook Convention Center, we're off Mondays. So I'm in the car with Randy and Miser for sure. I can't remember if it Pez because there was like 2 carloads of us. So we're driving, and where all the boys used to work out, all the Jarrett's boys. It was either Debbie Combs. I think it was Debbie Combs because she was dating Randy at the time. And because he was stopping to call her, you had to have a phone booth then. There wasn't no cell phones and stuff. So he was stopped. We wanted to go to the gym and work out where to have another workout because we was going to go on to Johnson City. So wherever the name of the gym was, and I didn't really give a rat's fucking ass, but yes, I was in the goddamn fucking car. Now, Dundee comes walking out. He comes walking out and walks to his fucking car. So I didn't know there was any big fucking plans to sucker punch Dundee because he wore Macho Man trunks on TV, which some fan gave to him. Randy wouldn't told me anything like that because I was like super straight edge, a nerd, whatever you want to call it, and I wouldn't want to know about it. Wouldn't want to be involved with it because anytime I'd be involved with Randy, it would be a chance I could get arrested for just hanging out. So what happens was we're at the gym. Well, we pull up to the gym. Dundee walks by. I get in the back of Randy's Volkswagen Rabbit. I am there. I'm checking, sniffing the Pez Watley sniff of what can I wear to work out in. Not paying any attention. I had some kind of pop in there and some kind of protein bar I was nibbling on too, because I intend on being here for the next 2 to 3 fucking hours. And yes, I am there. All the action took place to the left of the car. I don't know how far, maybe up to maybe 50 yards, 50, 60, 70, whatever. I wasn't measuring how many steps it was of the goddamn car. I just knew I'm hearing screaming and yelling. I don't know what the fuck it is. And I'm trying to look down there. I don't give a shit. It ain't none of my goddamn business. Then all of a sudden I see it's goddamn Randy coming back. Look, Miser looked like he'd had a goddamn heart attack or whatever. And well, come on, get in the car. Let's go. So I didn't go into the fucking gym. So whoever the fucking Mark is telling about a story. Yes, we didn't go in the gym because all the action took place before. So I missed my goddamn fucking workout. So Randy's in the car talking 100 miles an hour. So I'm just listening, shutting the fuck up. What the fuck happened? Well, I hit Dundee in the jaw. If Randy told me he hit him in the jaw, I'm not there to goddamn fucking see it. If he says he hit him in the jaw, he hit him. I think, well, he hit him in the jaw. Does that mean he hit him down here? He hit him up here at the top of the jawbone? I don't fucking know. But when you get down, that's like say, what happened? Well, I hurt my semimembranosus, my semitendinosus, my bicep femoris. Huh? Or in other words, I hurt my leg, but it's a different part of your goddamn leg. So how's that? So we get the fuck out of there and drive on to fucking Johnson City. And all of a sudden I'm hearing what was going on. Hell, like Randy hit him and was yelling at Dundee. It was Dundee, so I got to get my trunk to help him to get something to put on his head or whatever. Little did Randy know, Randy's all of a sudden, Dundee pulls out a goddamn gun. Randy didn't hit him with the gun. He didn't hit Randy with the gun. Bill pulled the gun out, and all of a sudden the ICW superstars were backpedaling to get the fuck out of there and said, thinking, well, we shouldn't have went here. That's for goddamn fucking sure. So Randy, he was happy about hitting Dundee because he wore the Macho Man trunks on TV. But then I think Miser about had a heart attack right there. I'm just shaking my head going, damn, all I was wanting to do was get a workout in. So no, you're right. I didn't get a workout, but I was there, and fuck you, whoever you are. How's that? That's perfect. And I might have covered something now because it get me fucking wound up, you know. And this was 40 some years ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, I literally on the comments, like, who are you? Like, how do you know? This was 40 years ago. Well, it was somebody's sons, brothers, kids, whatever. And I'm like, oh, so you know everybody that was in the parking lot that day when this happened.
Yeah.
Like, you could see the whole parking lot and everybody was there. Idiots, man. So maybe you weren't right next to the event that happened, but you were there. You went with Randy, you left with Randy. I would say that
on the way there, I was in the back seat and he was in the front seat. Put it that way.
Yeah.
And I think, and then Miser, because I remember Thunderbolt Patterson was there too. He was yelling about something. I guess his ass was turning around back to when Bill pulled the gun out.
All right, good job, Rip. Glad we got that cleared up. Now
another day in the life of.
Yeah, now I can cut that up, and when the Marks say something, I'll just send them the link.
Yeah, fuck you again.
I could just cut it off right there.
Yeah.
Just cut it off after the 3 FUs. All right. Any other questions? We're an hour in. I got to go on vacation.
Shit, you're always on vacation.
No, not always. Anybody got anything? Any final words? Final thoughts? Final anything before we wrap this show up? I missed anybody in green here. Kill City Cup in the house, Rip.
Okay, well he's over.
KCC baby.
Yeah. Oh, look at medium 5. Rip was right. 2 inches can separate a jaw. It's the whatever.
I didn't even mean to do that, but it just popped up. When we gonna get them nude pics Rip did in the 80s?
Of what?
Those nude pics you did in the 80s. Remember when you said you did some still nude photos or
Oh yeah,
whatever?
well, but when I had
Frank's Pickle Barrel asked once.
when I had my flood in the basement, they was all gone too.
I think you need to double check that. Just make sure you don't have anything else. Maybe they're still in the box.
Oh, maybe they are.
So far, everything you've said's been in the floods, shown up in this box in my.
Okay, well, man.
Maybe they'll be in there here. We'll find them. Let's see. Anything else? Sounds like Mark's never been in a fight. Love telemarketers. Call early. I play Pornhub and reply. Oh, that is awesome. Don Burton in the house from Seymour, Indiana. The story has done wonders for Dundee's legend. Just connection with Randy makes it noteworthy. Yeah. I'd say. Other Rip said needs to be clipped and pointed the mark. Yeah, that's why we did it. That's what we're going to do. That's the plan. You got any last words, Rip?
Nope.
Any last requests?
Yeah, I just want to die, get it over with.
Oh my God. Not sure that's what we were looking for. But...
Oh well, you can edit. I will.
All right, let's get the head bob in.
Right,
Everybody at home, do the head bob.
in.
Thanks to SM White II for the donation today. That was awesome. We also had a donation on the actual YouTube channel the other day. That was really cool.
Greatest ever.
We appreciate any donations, any super chats, anything like that. Have a great weekend. We are out of here.